beautiful people, and welcome back to yet another video right here on All Things Teaching with Pena. I cut my hair, my beautiful long lavish hair. I cut it all off, like all of it. I cut it off, and I decided that I want to do something different with my hair. So, ta-da! Anyways, all of this aside, as you guys have seen by the title of the video, we are going to talk about why I decided to quit my job after only 2 months of working at the school. So with that said, you guys, let's get straight into this video. When the year 2025 began, it started with so much anticipation for what the year has in store for me. I was so excited to see what this year had for me because for those of you that are not familiar, I finished my degree 2024. I wrote my final examinations on the month of November 2024. December, I was just sending out my CVs, but I've also been sending out my CVs after I was done with my second semester teaching practicals, which was around September going all the way to December. I was just sending out CVs to various schools around Pretoria. Some of them accepted my CV, some of them refused my CV, saying that they're not hiring at the moment. I must check around December. Some they were like, no, check around January. They were just giving me a particular month of when to come back and drop off my CV. Others were saying, no, we don't accept physical CVs, you need to send it via email. So I did that. And I've been waiting. I was getting no responses. I did over 20-something CV send-outs to school. And from all of that amount of emails that I sent out, I got nothing back. And when the year 2025 began, I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get called back from any institution that I had, sent out my CV to. But at the same time, I said to myself that, man, maybe something bigger is waiting for me. So before the school opened, I was just chilling. Come the 14th of January, I went to this private institution and I went to drop off my CV there. And they told me, wait. And I'm like, okay, wait. The receptionist told me wait. So I waited for almost an hour or something like that. And then I got called in to see management. And management was like a straight up interview. And I was wearing casual. I was wearing my Scooby-Doo t-shirt with a pair of jeans. And my hair was just all over the place. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you're hired, but we're offering you 5,000 Rand. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. So after that, I accepted the offer. I spoke to my parents and I informed them that this is what happened. I'm not really sure if I should, take the job or not, but I've already accepted. That's the thing. I already accepted with management, but I'm telling my parents I'm not sure. Because during the interview, yes, I've got 4 qualifications. I have a higher certificate in early childhood care and education. I have a diploma in educational psychology. I have a TEFL certificate. I also have my teaching degree. So I've got 4 qualifications to my name as I'm currently speaking, as I'm currently filming this video. I have 4 qualifications to my name, but 0 experience. The only experience that I have is teaching practical experience. That is the only experience that I have. So during the interview, management said to me, you don't have experience, so taking you will actually be a risk from our side. And I'm here thinking, I've seen videos where people were actually speaking out about this to say that we are recent graduates, straight out of college. And when we go for interviews, we are asked for experience that we don't have. Where are we supposed to get experience if you as an institution, you're not willing to give us that experience? Give me the experience. Let me show you what I can do. So they said to me that we are taking a risk by taking you in. And I said, no, it's fine. I will take whatever it is that you are offering me. And at first I thought it was a joke. I was like, during an interview, there's always the trick question. So I thought, here they're actually tricking me with a 5,000 Rand salary. So I'm like, no, it's fine, I will take it. But then when I went to my parents, I'm like, I don't know if I should actually take this job. I don't know if I should accept the offer because the pay is very little. But because I don't have experience, maybe that is why. Because I was informed that now I'm going to be on a 3 months probationary period. And then after that, we shall see what's next. And I'm like, okay. And because of the 3 months probationary period, I'm not going to get a contract. I'm not going to sign a contract. I'm like, okay, fine. So my parents said, no, just take it for experience sake. Take it to gain skill. Take it to gain experience so that you know what is expected of you, because your teaching practical experience is not the same as being employed. It's not the same. The experiences are two completely different experiences. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. Come the 15th of January, when school was reopening, I was excited. And I took the bus, went to school. Because during the interview, I did inform management that I live far. I live very, very far. I live like 1 hour away from the school. And management did ask me, how are you going to get to work on time? And I said to them, don't worry, leave that to me. So obviously, I spoke with my parents. We arranged transport. For me, the bus was obviously a little bit more costly. With time, as we were doing the calculations, we're like, yeah, it's very costly because I actually had to take the bus from where I'm staying to school, right? And then it drops me off near school at the traffic lights, which is close to the school. And then after school, I have to take a taxi, go to the bus rank, and then take the bus and then come home. So I have to pay like twice after school and only once in the morning. So it's like I have to pay 3 times per day for transport just to get home. And I'm here thinking, I'm spending way more for transport. And how about we come up with something else? So the first week of it was obviously rough. School reopening, all the new teachers are here looking around, what to do, where to go, and what. Finally, I was allocated a class to say, you are now going to teach grade 4 learners. You're going to be the registered teacher, but you're going to teach Afrikaans grade 4 to 7. You're also going to teach EMS and LO. Fine. Come briefing, I inform management to say, hey, I'm not so sure about EMS because no way on my CV did I state that I specialize in teaching EMS. Yes, on my matric certificate, I did business studies in high school, but that was like years back. Varsity, I didn't do business studies. I didn't do economics. And now I'm here going to be a teacher for EMS. I'm not so positive about that. And management tells me, no, it's just general knowledge, born out. When I just teach, because mostly it's theory based, just teach what is present. If you need help, we are here to assist you. And I'm here thinking, you don't understand, like, how do I even begin to explain? And I'm here thinking, okay, I will take it. And I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. I know LO, it's chilled. It's laid back. It's a laid back subject. Okay, so we do the whole introductory thingy with the learners. Hello, I'm going to be a teacher for the subject. Hello, blah, blah, blah. First week, second week, third week, sharp until month end of January. So now I'm like, okay, I'm getting into the hang of things. The workload started piling up. So now, come February, certain documents were now being introduced to us, such as a POA, Program of Assessment. I'm aware of an ATP. The thing with an ATP is that it tells you what to teach, when to teach it. It gives you a duration. It says week 1, you should teach these topics, and come week 2, you should be teaching these topics. But here's the thing with an ATP. It does not consider the fact that there are so many other things in the school that are taking place that can actually interrupt that whole process of teaching. There's athletics training, there's choir practice, there's multiple meetings that are taking place. So what I noticed is that I was not where I was supposed to be according to the ATP. I was way behind. And I was like, I need to catch up. Because there were multiple meetings that were taking place, and those meetings were long. They would be like over 2 hours long. And I'm here thinking, these meetings are taking up way too much of our teaching and learning time because they were done after assembly. And so I'm thinking to myself, can't we like shift these meetings to after school, because it's taking up too much of our teaching and learning time, and now I'm falling behind. Remember, the pressure is piling up on me as a teacher. As a new teacher, the pressure is piling up. And then there was this day, Monday. I won't give you the exact date, but I know it was a Monday. Now, I was giving the learners an Afrikaans pop quiz. All my grades, grade 4 to 7, they were writing Afrikaans pop quiz, because it's easier for me if they're writing all on the same day. I was busy with the grade 6s that day. Just handed out the papers, just read through them, the instructions, and they were busy writing. And now a teacher comes to me and says, management requires you to go to the office. You are needed at the office. And I'm like, okay, the kids are writing, ma'am, can you please look after them on my behalf while I go out? And I'm here thinking, okay, management wants to see me. That cannot be a good thing. In my own experience, being called to the office was never a good thing for me. And I'm here thinking, what did I do? My goodness, what did I do? So now my heart is starting to pound. It's pounding, it's beating, and I'm stressing. I'm like, the kids are writing. The teacher that's in the class doesn't understand Afrikaans. And what if they have questions and I'm not there? So now I'm like, okay, Pena, girl, calm yourself down. I'm here thinking, okay, fine. Just go in, listen to what they have to say, come back, focus on the kids. You'll focus on what they have to say later. When I got there, knocked on the door, they allowed me inside, greeted politely, and I was now informed that there's a new teacher who's going to take over Afrikaans from me. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? So I'm like, ma'am, this is the new teacher. She's going to take over Afrikaans from you. Please do a handover today. I'm like, today? I'm like, update her on how far the learners are and hand over everything Afrikaans related to her. And I'm here thinking, wait, what? So now I tell management, the kids are writing Afrikaans pop quiz today, all grades. So I won't be teaching. It's just Afrikaans pop quiz day today. Management is like, oh, now whether they're writing a pop quiz or what, do a handover. Give this teacher everything Afrikaans related. You will be left with grade 7 EMS and LO. And I'm like, okay. But what I was not informed was that I was going to be given another subject. Because now management tells me that I've got plans for you. I'm like, okay, this has to be good. Because I know the pressure of teaching a language subject. It's a lot. It's like, teaching language is a lot. Like, yeah, there's so much work there. So the moment they said that, I was hurt for the first day. I was like hurt. But with time, I think I was like, okay, at least all that weight is off my shoulders. So now I was like, okay, now I have to take her with me. She had to shadow me for the day. And then I had to tell her where I was with my planning, where I was. And mind you, I was behind with work. I was just trying to push, I know how I work. I have my own system. And so now I needed to do this and do that. Just, give her an update of where the learners are. And luckily, she took over. After the learners were done and stuff, she took over. After I've shown her, okay, this is what happens. We were now moving to the other grades that had to write, and fine, she took over. She started explaining things and stuff like that. And what I loved about her is that she could explain Afrikaans. She could explain Afrikaans ka Setswana. I did not do Setswana at school. I did English and Afrikaans. So some things I can't really explain them in Setswana, because even the language itself, for me, I don't really know it fully. I only know the spoken version of Setswana, not the written version of it. The spoken language and the written language, they're completely different in all languages, not just in Setswana. And so now I can speak Setswana, yes, but then there are some parts of it that I don't know. And some words I don't know. That's why mostly I speak English, and my family gets frustrated to say no, we sent you to school to learn, but we didn't send you to come and speak the language here at home. Here we speak Setswana. Put your English aside. But anyways, so that took place, and then come the next briefing, I was informed that I'm going to be teaching creative arts. The learners have not been taught. It's February. Ne? The learners have not been taught anything. So I have to now backdate everything, meaning now I have to cover the work that should have been covered. And I'm here thinking, what? Like, no, on top of everything. So 1 week later, the teacher who took Afrikaans from me was moved to foundation phase. And now I was given Afrikaans back. During the briefing, management came and said, ma'am, you are going to be moved to foundation phase. When ma'am, you're going to take Afrikaans today. And continued with the other agenda. And she moves, the management won't move. And I'm like trying to catch up. My brain is trying to process everything. And I'm here thinking like, wait, just last week or when was it? A few days back, Afrikaans was taken from me. Now it's given back to me. I'm like, ma'am, may I please reject taking Afrikaans? She's like, no, you're going to take Afrikaans. Because it's your specialty. It's in your CV. Like, you specialize in the language. So you're going to teach it. I'm here thinking, So now, remember, I was teaching grade 4 to 7 Afrikaans. I was teaching grade 7 EMS LO before. And they took Afrikaans from me. So I was left with the grade 7's EMS, LO, and creative arts. So now they added Afrikaans grade 4 to 7 on top of my plate. And mind you, the subject, Afrikaans, it's a lot. Plus, these kids, they don't speak the language at home. They don't interact in the language anyway. There's a lot of work that I have to do. Some of the work that I was doing in class was work that should have been done by the foundation phase teacher. But I'm doing it as an intermediate phase teacher. And I'm here thinking, man, you cannot teach a learner a language and expect them to grasp it so easily, especially the Afrikaans language, because many of the learners, they have an attitude towards that language to say, oh no, we don't want to learn this language. It's not going to take us anywhere in life. I also had the same mindset to say, oh, I don't like this language. I don't want to do it. But I have to because the government demands that of every learner to do Afrikaans. For what reason? We don't know. So that happened. Work started piling up. I was falling behind. I was sleep deprived. I was frustrated. I was exhausted. I was trying to push as much as I can, and there was very little support from management to the teachers, from the institution itself. There was very little support. I've never attended a workshop, not once. I've never attended anything that was supporting me as a teacher in what I was doing. Nothing. It was only morning briefings and teaching and extramural activities. That's it. And I'm here thinking, February, and I'm feeling like this. So come month end of February, management comes. It was after school. I had completely forgotten that management is going to come. Like, it was out of my mind, gone, because I was so focused on I need to push the assessments. I need to push them. I need to do them and also do the memorandums. At the same time, they have to do other tasks on the side, such as unprepared reading, prepared reading. They have to do physical education tasks. They have to do dancing performance. They have to do drama performance. Like, there were so many tasks that the learners had to do, and they had to do it within a specific period. And I was trying to push all of that aside. And then at the same time, I was planning, okay, this is what they're going to be writing. This is how it's going to be marked. It was a lot. Come month end of February, the management comes. It was after school. Management to what? There's a briefing. We were not told. Management just comes and says, all the teachers gather around Gustav Rumo. There's a briefing. I'm here thinking, it's after 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay, hopefully this briefing is short, because now, couple 4, I have to leave because my transport comes and fetches me at the gate around 20 past 4, latest 4:30. So sharp. Now, management mentions things, goes teacher by teacher. We're not Zamafoka. Starting with the foundation phase. You should have done this. Yay. And then it got to me. Hey, I was behind. I was so behind. Ma'am, this. Ma'am, you're on the spotlight. Yeah, you're more Retsuno. Because in our office, these cases are popping up. Remember, there were so many cases that were popping up. And of learners playing in my classroom, learners touching each other's private parts in my presence. Just, learners being learners, they were being disruptive in my presence. And mind you, what I like to do is I like to give the learners work. I explain the work, I give them work, and I sit at my table and I work. I try to push as much as possible. After school, I work. I try to push as much work as possible so that I've pushed a lot. And then I get around late in the evening, around 10. That's normally time that I had to myself. That was when I would just sit and I would push, and then maybe around midnight or 11 the latest I would go to bed, and I would wake up around 3:30, latest 4 o'clock. So that was my schedule. And it got to me, and management was like, hey, you're behind, you're not leaving. And I'm thinking, I'm not leaving. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Maybe she's joking. Mind you, during that briefing, I'm chatting with the SCOF driver to say, I'm in a meeting. When you are close to the gate, please inform me so that I can leave. They inform me, we are approaching the gate. Please get out. I speak to management. Ma'am, my SCOF driver is on the way. May I please be excused from this meeting? She said, no, you're not going anywhere. You're not done with work. I want my work. Today's submission day. I'm here thinking, but isn't there any arrangement? He's like, you're not leaving. No teacher is leaving until they have submitted the work that I want them to submit. Mind you, I did the work just in an incorrect manner. The work was done. It was done in an incorrect manner. I didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done. I didn't correct it according to the feedback that I had received when I submitted it. So now it was like, no, you're not going anywhere. And now the driver is informing me, where are you? And I'm thinking, ma'am, can I please leave? Like, hey, now we're going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just leave, inform the driver that I'm not going anywhere, and see if he can arrange a transport to come and fetch me. So I go out, I meet the driver at Zenaka Gate. So now I was going to the driver. He comes in and we meet somewhere, Mujartenya school. He tells me, we've been waiting for you. I apologize. I'm so sorry I kept you waiting. Management does not want me to leave. She said that no teacher is leaving until the work is done. So can you kindly please assist me with arranging transport for me? He says, fine. When you are done with your meeting, call me and I will arrange transport for you. I call my parents. I inform them that I'm not coming home at the time that I normally come home because management does not want me to leave. The principal is refusing for me to leave because I'm behind Kamereko, and obviously the work that I did was wrong. So now I have to redo everything. And I'm behind with preparations and stuff. So, fine, they understand. Now I'm there. I can't even concentrate now. Like, it's after hours. I can't concentrate. My mind is like off. And I'm sitting there with work that I don't understand how to do. I'm consulting with other teachers. I'm like, can you please help me? Can you please help me? Can you please help me? And I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated that I didn't leave knowing that I live far. And I'm like, but they know my situation. I live far. I live 1 hour away from the school, and I arranged SCOF. I left the bus because it was expensive. I left the bus. And I'm frustrated. I'm sitting there. I'm frustrated. I'm hungry. And now I'm trying to just, catch up on the work. And in that moment, I said to myself, this is not working for me. So come to 6, so approaching 6 o'clock. Or was it past 6? Somewhere there. I called the SCOF driver. He doesn't answer. He's not picking up. I'm starting to get worried. I called him. He doesn't pick up. His phones are off. WhatsApp, he's offline. I called the other one because we had 3 SCOF drivers. So I called the other SCOF driver. I'm like, okay, let me call the other one. So this other SCOF driver, he answers, and I inform him that I stayed behind because management refused for me to leave because I was behind Kamereko. Organize the transport. He says, fine, I'll organize a transport for you. I'll call you back. Just wait. So now I'm waiting outside the gate. It's around past 6 now. He calls someone, comes back to me and says, hey, transport or number plate thing is so and so and so. On the other side of the street. Fine. I cross the street. I wait there. Look for the number plate that he gave me. So now every taxi that's passing by, I'm looking at the number plate to say, okay, no, not this one. Not this one. No, not it. So luckily there was another teacher who was waiting there with me for some time. And then that teacher left because there was a car that came to pick her up. That teacher left, and I was alone. The taxi that was supposed to come and pick me up, it passed me. Fine. Call, taxi had to come back and fetch me. Fine. I informed the taxi, hey, arrangement is like, no, taxi ranking. When I just pop in. Okay? Like, I'm scared. Remember, like, I don't know this person. I pop in, we go to the taxi rank. When we get to the taxi rank, I find out that he is not the taxi owner, he's just a taxi driver. He's been employed by the taxi owner. The taxi owner is like, who is that lady at the back? It's a taxi. Hey, there's a quarrel, there's this and that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know anyone in this location who has a car who can just pick me from the taxi rank and take me home. Bolt is way expensive. If it takes me from the taxi rank to where I'm staying, it's gonna charge me way more than the taxi, because the taxi is like 38 bucks. And mind you, at the time, at the time that this whole quarreling was taking place, I had no cash on me, not even 10 cents, nothing. So the quarreling takes place. No, fine. After a long debate, they allow me into the taxi to say, okay, fine, she can pop in. Now it's time to pay. I don't have money. I explained the situation, at payment. Nope, the taxi driver was like, no, we don't work like that. More taxing out and empty-handed. So get out. And I'm here thinking, my gosh, I thought you made an agreement with my scoff driver to say, he will pay. Oh no, he was not even hearing it. So now it was a totally completely different argument. So no, what's an I am taxing a gosa patel. Hey, but home, scoff driver mo funela, mo shout, hey, until the customer are pateling, no, miss a guy, one or give me say, hey, what, and I'm here thinking, Lord, how do I get out of the situation? Fine. So now I'm like, okay, get la phone number go high for how on drop and go thing. Bone batli se chelete, and then yeah. So after some time he was like, okay, let's go. Sharp, we leave. We go. Mind you, it's dark by then. I'm scared because there's a lot that can happen to a woman at night. I don't trust. It's like I have trust issues. I don't trust easily, especially when it comes to my life. I was very scared. Because I had no one to call and say, please come and fetch me. I had no one to call and say, please come and wait with me. Go taxi ranking whilst everything is happening. I had no one to call. I was just me and myself and my bags, my work, because I took my work with me. Got home late in the evening. When I got home, I said my family allowed me to just rest because they could see that she's not okay. And then after some time, they were like, please come, let's sit. We had a family meeting. We spoke about everything that was happening, and they said to me, you're not okay. You are not okay. And because of that, please send in a resignation letter to say that you're not coming back. And I said to them, how about I leave at the end of the month? March. And they're like, no. I said to them, how about let me finish the term. A term meaning it's 3 months, January, February, March. Then after that, then I will hand in my resignation letter. And it was, no, you're not doing that. You are leaving. Draft a resignation letter and just find another school, because we've been observing you since you started working at that school. You are not okay. Number one, you wake up early. You travel. Number two, you're constantly tired. You sleep late. You're constantly complaining of headaches. You're constantly behind Kamereko. You're so overworked. For someone who's new, you're supposed to be allocated a mentor teacher, ne? For a short period of time, which is a process that we call induction in the education system. We call it an induction period. You're supposed to go through that whole process. Someone had to sit down with you and show you how work is supposed to be done at that institution. That was not done. With me, it was not done. No one sat down with me and showed me, oh, this is how things are done. This is how this document is done. I was given documents and I was expected that I know what to do with those documents. I was expected to know how to fill them in. So now I would do what I thought was right and hand it in, and then feedback would be given to me to say, no, you did not do the right thing. And mind you, if feedback comes, you have to reprint everything. You have to rewrite everything. That one that you did, you discarded. So I had a lot of work that needed to be discarded because it was incorrect. And fine, come Saturday, I write my resignation letter and everything. And I start calling the SCOF driver to tell him, or rather to inform him, that I'm not going to be part of the SCOF anymore because I resigned at work and whatever. Start informing everyone to say, oh no, this is the situation, I'm not coming back. So come Monday, I hand in my resignation letter, and management says, no, we're not going to accept your resignation letter. So we sit down and I inform them what happened, why I decided to resign after only working there for 2 months. And they're like, no, ma'am, you don't communicate. As a teacher, you do not communicate. Wadidimala, and you expect us to know what's wrong. And I'm here thinking, but I did communicate. At first, I asked for EMS to be taken off my hands. That request was denied. I asked for Afrikaans to be taken off my hands. That request was denied because Afrikaans is my specialty. And now they are telling me that I don't communicate. I've been communicating, but they were just not hearing me. The workload was too much. I was expecting that maybe for the first term, my workload would be less than someone who's been working at the school for several years. Come term 2, because of obviously now seeing how things are done, I know what to do in term 2. So now the workload can now increase, but no. And mind you, the 5,000 the salary is 5,000 at the school. In all of this, I'm not trying to speak bad about the institution. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just informing you as my viewers what took place. This is my personal experience. This is what I experienced. And if you are in a situation like the one that I've been in, kindly share with me how you are handling the situation, or how you handled it if you left. Maybe the way I handled it could have been handled differently. But I feel like instead of my SCOF being dismissed, I should have been called in to come and work on a Saturday, to report to work on a Saturday and say, hey, finish up the work that you were supposed to do. I would have done that, to say, oh, because this is your consequence. Your consequence is on a weekend. I could have done that. Not to say, oh, you're not going home. And now I had to fend for myself and see how I get home. Management didn't care. Or now how I get home, they didn't care. They wanted work, I was behind. I submitted incorrect things. So I had to redo everything. Mind you, that's a lot. Then I have to do a POA, Program of Assessment, for all grades, grade 4 to 7, plus grade 7, EMSLO, and Creative Arts. Guys, it's a lot. It's a lot. Because every assessment that I was giving out to the learners, I had to set it personally myself from scratch. I had no reference from the files that were given to me. Nothing. I had to go on the internet. I had to use the textbook. I have to take the ATP. Everything so that I can submit. That is my story. That is my experience. So what I love about this school was the values that it was teaching these kids. It was teaching them to put Jesus first. Above everything, because it's a Christian school, put Jesus first. There was prayer and worship every day, Monday to Friday. Wednesday, it was fasting, combined with prayer and worship. So what the school was trying to teach these kids is that Jesus is the solution. So every problem that we face as individuals, Jesus is the solution. Don't go out seeking solutions elsewhere whilst Jesus is there. Accept Jesus as your Lord and your personal Savior. Communicate with Him the way you communicate with everyone else. Communicate with Him. Seek His kingdom above every and anything in this world. Because everything and anything in this world is, like, at the end of your life, it's meaningless and it's not going to carry any value. So that's what I loved about the school. I love the fact that it's a Christian school, although there was no Bible study, but the fact that there was praise and worship. Kids knew that when I get to the school, it is expected of me to pray. It is expected of me to worship Christ. It is expected of me to know my Bible, to know the verses and some of the scriptures, not all of it, because obviously kids are still young, they're still learning, but some of them, luckily, they did attend Bible study at their church. So, they could catch up very easy when we were reading out the scripture. Some not so much. And so that's what I loved about the school. Mind you, not all private schools, but the majority of private schools, they pay according to the enrollment of the learners at the school. This school did not have a lot of learners. Hence, we were getting paid only 5,000. There are other teachers out there that are getting below 5,000. Mind you, you go to school, you study for 4 years plus. Some, they come with an honors degree, some with a master's degree, and yet they earn that amount of money. That is my story. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about my story. Maybe you have experienced the same thing as a teacher. Maybe you have experienced something completely different. Please do share with me. Like I always say, this is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. I like to hear from you as much as obviously you guys are hearing from my side. To new and upcoming teachers, the world of work, it's completely different from teaching experience, practicals. It's completely different. I feel like it is the responsibility of your mentor teacher as a student teacher to show you the ropes, to at least give you a 360-degree view of everything teaching related. That is the whole purpose of this channel, to give you everything that is related to teaching so that you can see for yourself as an upcoming teacher, as a student teacher. Both sides. Okay, Pena's experience as a student teacher was like this. Now she's employed. Her story, her experience is like this. If your mentor teacher does not expose you to all of this, then your mentor teacher is failing you. I'm telling you straight to your face. Your mentor teacher is failing you. If your mentor teacher does not show you or go with you through what needs to be done as a teacher, what are your duties and responsibilities as a fully qualified individual. Because when your mentor teacher does that, practically, they prepare you for when you are going to be hired by an institution to say, hey, come and work for us. So when your mentor teacher sits down with you, all these documents from the department, from the institution that needs to be filled in and placed into the file, how teaching and learning is supposed to be conducted. If your mentor teacher does that, they are actually preparing you for what is expected of you when you are now in your own personal classroom. I applaud mentor teachers that do that. If your mentor teacher has never done that, like for me, I've never had a mentor teacher who did that to me, or for me rather, then they are simply failing you. Because the experience that I got from my teaching practicals is completely different from the experience that I got when I was hired for 2 months. It was completely different. There are so many documents from the department, from the institution itself, that needs you to fill them in. You need to be familiar with all the terminologies and the abbreviations and everything. And my gosh, it's a lot. I won't lie. Guys, I apologize for the noise. There's a daycare center next door. So I apologize for the noise. But let me wrap up this video because it's extensively long. I want you to take one thing from this video, which is simply know when to walk away. Know when to walk away. I know that in many cases we want money, but at the same time, don't be desperate. Now, I only simply went to that school for one reason, which was to gain experience, and I did. I know now what is expected of me when I walk into a classroom. I know now what is expected of me when I walk into an institution and I hand them my CV and I say to them during an interview, you know what, this is what I will produce. This is what you should expect from me. I know now what I expect that, and I know how teaching. Yes, you see teachers, sit down, you're making noise. We talk a lot. But behind all the talking that we do in class, there's a lot of writing and typing and printing that needs to be done. There's a lot of meetings that take place. So if you are a new and upcoming teacher, know this, or rather take note of this. This job, this career that you have chosen does not pay. Maybe in other countries it pays. But here in South Africa, Lora 60,000, Lora 50,000, Lora 40,000. Not to mention 30,000, you will dream of it. 20,000, you will dream of it. There are teachers that get 30,000 depending on the experience, depending on the position. There are teachers that get 3,000, 2,000. Imagine a whole teacher with a qualification, with a degree, who went to a university, not even a college, a university, and yet they come back home, got 3,000 per month for salary. There's rent, there's food, there's toiletries, there's petrol, there's this, there's that, there's medical bills that need to be paid. Got 3,000, you cannot cover that. Even for me, got 5,000, I couldn't cover half of everything. But anyways, that is my story. So guys, that's it from my side. That is my story. That is my experience. I'm gonna repeat this. I am in no way bashing the school or bad mouthing the school or shaming the school, whatever terminology that is out there. I am not trying to put a negative look on the school. Ne? I'm just sharing with you what I went through and why I am now at home. So, to all of you that are watching this video, please don't get what I said twisted. Don't twist my words. Don't twist my story because I kids you. No. Take my story as it is. Don't twist it how when you share it with someone else. No, take it as it is. Because this is my story. When you twist it, then it's not my story anymore. It becomes something completely different. Plagiarism. So, this is my story. This is what I personally went through at the institution. Ne? Everyone has a completely different story. Everyone has a completely different experience with that school that I was with. And everyone, they will obviously share their own side of the story, their own experiences that they went through with the institution. We all have something to say. We all have something to say. I'm not going to go deep into detail with some of the other things that were taking place, because it's not only this incident that I'm sharing with you that actually pushed me to sign, to hand in my resignation letter. There are other incidents as well that took place within the institution when I was with them that also propelled me to hand in my resignation letter. But note this from my video. I am not bad-mouthing the school or shaming the school or whatever the school. No, I'm not doing that. I'm simply just sharing with you my experiences. Okay? Especially to you, my new followers, especially to you guys, my upcoming teachers, my student teachers. Please note this. Your mental health is very, very important. Don't stay where you are unhappy. I'm telling you, there are schools out there that will treat you with that will treat you right. Don't stay where you are not happy, because if your mental health is not in the right place, there's no way you're going to be productive in what you do. Never. Because we need you more on point. You need to be mentally okay in order to produce quality work. Otherwise, and trust me, parents at the end of the term, they want results. The principal wants results. Management wants results from you. So if you're not okay here, how are you going to produce quality work? How are you going to produce the results that the parents want? How are you going to produce the results that management wants from you? So, guys, this is my story. Like it, don't like it, be neutral. It's fine with me. But I would really love to hear from your side if you have experienced a similar situation. How did you handle it? If you have any advice for me going forward, please share with me. So I'm not an island, no man is an island. Communicate with me. Let me know how I should have handled the situation if I didn't handle it the right way, and going forward, if ever I come across something like this, how I should handle it going forward. Because who knows, maybe going forward it might be worse, we don't know. Maybe going forward it might be something completely different. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to let your friends know that All Things Teaching with Pena is on YouTube. Bye.